Right.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. Somebody has the microphone on in spite of I'm having muted everybody. Somehow it didn't. Ah, I see. Bea and Daniel, please turn your microphone off. I couldn't mute it from my side. Okay, thank you. We also may have some sound from the neighbor construction. There was hammering the whole morning. Right now it calmed down a bit, so we'll see. Let me talk about innocence a moment. In most of the religions and the spiritual schools, they often say that one has to become innocent. But actually, what does it mean, innocence? Nice word, but what does it mean to be innocent? We accept that little babies are innocent. Once they start talking, they can say anything. And people think it's funny. If an adult would say similar things, they wouldn't think it's funny. Why? Because we accept they are innocent. There is no motivation there for any personal gain, no motivation there to hurt anyone. So that means we have to learn to be in the present without that motivation of always squeezing out something for me personally. Once we really start to carefully observe, one becomes aware how much all the thoughts, all the feelings that are person motivated, centering about the me, what can I do in this moment? It's always connected to energetic and physical tensions of which we are most of the time not aware. And then along with our feelings, along with what we are saying, along with our actions, we also transmitting that tension. People are picking it up without being aware necessarily, but immediately there is a certain defense mechanism there. When little children are around, one doesn't have that defense mechanism. Sometimes they may annoy us, sometimes they may not be so funny, but it doesn't have that defense mechanisms that is there most of the time amongst adults. So to become innocent doesn't also mean we have to start to behave like little children. It's not necessary that we start to make little cakes in the sand in order to be innocent. But we had it when we were children. And then we learn to function differently, but we can come back to that pure spontaneity of existence. For that we have to have a good, honest look at ourselves, observing what's going on, seeing how we are creating tensions most of the time with what we are thinking, with what we are feeling, how we are acting and reacting with other people, how much there is always that motivation there. What can I do to gain personally something in this situation? Or the fear, am I going to be accepted? Am I not going to be accepted? What are they thinking about me? If we just let all that stuff go, life becomes so much easier. Then, in spite of having a developed intellect that we can use where it's appropriate, where it's necessary to function sanely, to function with common sense, we can just be in spite of that, in that spontaneous state of existing from moment to moment. All we have to do is to become aware of it, how much tensions we are creating all the time. And for that, we have to sincerely observe what's going on. And when we become aware, we can start to consciously let go, consciously relax. As soon as tensions are coming up, we can see them and we relax, and they come and go, and they don't pollute the innocence of existence. Then we can live spontaneously. And what does that mean? People try to play to be spontaneous by not wanting to think about anything that is going to happen in the future, or don't want to make an appointment because I want to be spontaneous. That doesn't mean that. We can very well think about the future, plan something, and then when it's present, spontaneously deal with it. Maybe our planning was in vain, maybe it happens very different, so what? Spontaneity means to be innocent. To be innocent means that we let go, that we relax, that we become aware of just being here now, conscious, living in the moment, in the timelessness of the now, relaxed. And there, that spontaneity just bubbles up. And even if we are getting into situations which we had planned, that sense of spontaneity and innocence is still there. The two are not mutually exclusive. If we live like this, then the joyousness of existence is always present. Sometimes we may face sad situations. There may be sadness. And still, even there, underneath, there is that joyousness of existence. And then sadness is not pulling anyone into the present, but it's just an emotion like all the others that come and go. Let's learn to be again like children in spite of being adults. Not become childish, but become innocent and spontaneous. From moment to moment, life will then just unfold. Sometimes we are planning, sometimes we don't. Doesn't matter. It's still just moment to moment, alive, new, fresh, pure. We are creating our burden. We're holding on to our burden. And we can let go of our burden. Everybody has their burden that we have accumulated in our lifetime of things that we are holding on to consciously and unconsciously. But if we sincerely observe just the experience now, we become aware of all those tensions. We don't necessarily have to dig in the past to let them go, but just deal with tensions. Then sometimes memories pop up. We become aware, it started there and it has been building up. Sometimes they may not. But just learning to let go of those tensions in the present is freeing us from that burden we are holding on to that makes life heavy and often creates situations where we suffer. Even if we live spontaneously, even if we live innocently, we will have to face unpleasant situations. That doesn't change, but they won't be capable of creating suffering. They may create a moment of annoyance. They may create unpleasant feelings for a moment. They come, they go. They don't leave a trace. Because this source, this purity, this beautiful, spontaneous, innocent source is always alive and not contaminated by anything that we are experiencing, that we are thinking, that we are feeling, that we are doing. Oh, I have been talking now the whole time, and I read the message from Guy that my sound is not good. Can anybody tell me, could you hear me, or is this whole thing gone somewhere?
No, it's okay. It's understood, just a bit broken.
I see. Maybe it's because of the background hammering, and then the computer tries to, oh no, now the computer says also the internet connection is unstable. So let's hope it's improving.
The hammering is not a problem, but sometimes your voice is like water and then a few words cannot be heard, but the meaning is okay.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, then I'm asking you to talk. Is there anyone who would like to come in and talk? You're welcome.
Yes, I would like to.
Hello, Leora.
Yeah, yeah, because it's amazing how you just spoke about the experience that I've had. Actually, I wasn't here last week, so it's been going on for a while, even 2 weeks or so. And it's connected to what you said. Yeah, like what I felt was that things don't become heavy when I don't tell the story about what has happened. When I don't tell the story to myself, and also when I don't tell it to somebody else. Sometimes I used to have the tendency to like to share experiences, anything. But now, the older I get, and my friends are also getting older, it's less the need to share so much as when we were younger, at least for me, but also for them. But then I noticed that also when I'm really in the moment, and one day I had this feeling that actually nothing is happening. Like, so much of what is happening is based on what I tell myself about it, and all the thoughts that come together, and then come the emotions, or first the emotions and then the thoughts, and then I have to share it with somebody, and then it becomes a whole package of
Yes.
Yeah. So and also because anything that happens when I tell it, it's already not the thing that actually has happened, even though I can tell it very accurate according to what, but it's my experience, and my experience is only my experience, and the experience changes all the time. Even the experience changes. It happened 10 minutes ago. If I tell now, it's something else, because the weather is different now, and I'm different because 10 minutes had already gone. And it was a very strong event for me to realize that actually I can't say that nothing is happening, because a lot is happening, but at the same time, I tend to make such a big deal. I guess I'm not the only one. of everything. Like, I also noticed, I used to listen to Eckhart Tolle about the thoughts, and also so many teachers in all the years I've been going to retreats and telling about thoughts, what they are and how to stop. And I could never understand really how could I stop the thoughts? I mean, or not believe or not communicate with the thoughts. But it happened just like that. I mean, a thought comes and it goes. I hardly notice. I know something came, but it doesn't create the energy. Of course, sometimes it does, but the last few weeks, it doesn't create the energy. And it's like gone. I don't know what was there. The same about emotions also. Okay, so there was unease, something. Okay, if I don't give it attention, then it's gone. And giving attention to the attention and the importance to the one who notices, it's like it goes together.
Right. Not quite. You can give attention in the sense that you observe without giving it importance, that you see what's going on.
Yeah, but there's also a way of how to observe the energy that is put there. I can be a bit like lay back in a way, like seeing it from a distance in a way, when also the energy doesn't mixed so fast in the event. And then everything that happens is like it becomes sort of flat, like there's less reactive about it, reaction. There's less even the beginning of reaction, where we tend to be also very, very reactive, also within ourselves also. Already I have an answer, and already it's this. Already there is a whole story. Before I even opened my mouth, only the other person said what they said or whatever. So it's a whole, and it's connected, of course. I feel it's connected to, like today I had the whole plan for the morning, and then my children called and invited me for breakfast. And then, of course, I left everything and went, because then I can be with my grandchildren and enjoy some time. And it's great. And if this happened, if something like that happened a year ago, I would say, what do they think? That they don't have my schedule? That they can just call me and then I can be there in 15 minutes anytime they want? I have my schedule, I have the things but no, I wanted to go, so I went. And I had a lovely time with my son and the children. We went for a drive, and so it's all together. It all together feels also like giving the importance to, or taking things too seriously. Right. If I just flow, yeah.
Right. No, exactly. You can make your plans, but then don't take yourself along with your plan so serious. Sometimes things turn totally different and it feels right. Something you said in the passing, then everything becomes a kind of flat.
Yeah.
Right, but don't stop there. That's a good state of detachment. But then you can go a step further and everything becomes very alive. Simply, you don't stick to it anymore. It's not that the goal is that everything and our life and our experience becomes flatter and flatter and flatter.
No,
right.
No, but my nature was my nature. My habits were too much attachment. Yes. Too much attachment. People tell me things, and then my heart, if it's bad, something bad, then I start worry and I want to help, and I become too involved. And then I realized that that not working for me any longer the way I used to do it. So now maybe it's a time in between, but I definitely used to be too attached to stories and to
Right.
So
very good. That this is getting less, because it's exactly the attachment that creates all those bottlenecks. It's the attachment that creates all the tension. It's the attachment that creates suffering.
Yeah.
Great. So if it starts to follow now spontaneously, that is very nice. Even when before, in the years of your practice and doing retreats, you were not quite aware that it was happening like this, and it was a big job. Still, something was happening, something was preparing, and now slowly you start to reap the fruit that things happen spontaneously and effortlessly.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's very nice. Very nice.
So we'll see. Yeah. Thank you, Werner.
Continue like this. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yeah.
Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to say something? You're welcome. In the context of what we just talked, I repeat something that I had already said once. When I was in Switzerland, I talked to a friend, and the person said, I don't want to become a cardboard. And I totally agree. And sometimes when one listens to the teachings and learns things of detaching, then it can sound. Then after that, it becomes all like just of a gray zone, not more alive. But this is a false conclusion. It may also for moments a bit feel like this, but that's because we still judge from the state of the mind, from the mental state, judge the experience. If we let that go, then we become aware, actually, all those attachments, they have prevented life in its beauty, in its fullness, to manifest itself. And then there comes the awareness, it's everything else than just the cardboard. It's everything else than just something gray and dead. Existence is alive with all its bubbling beauty, with all its bubbling beautiful potential. It's always there for the asking. It's simply that we prevent it from manifest, prevent it from being experienced by holding on to the tensions and to the attachments. And from the mental standpoint, it may for some time look a bit, oh, but if I let go, it's just getting sort of drearier. It's getting lifeless. But that's how it looks from the mental standpoint. If that happens, it's good not to get discouraged by it. And just continue, and soon one will start to become aware, oh no, it is not getting towards being dead alive, but it's getting towards being alive, really alive, becoming aware how that oneness is expressing itself in so myriads and myriads and myriads of ways, that there is continuously that beautiful divine game going on. No matter what dramas the humans are creating, there is continuously that beautiful divine game going. Playful, joyous. Everything else but gray and black. Sometimes people tell me, but there is a state, there is just nothing. It's a state. It means there is not a thing. And if we look at it still from the mental standpoint, then it's sort of like a dead state, but it's not, because in that nothingness, there is the potential for everything. And that potential is joyous, is alive, is beautiful. It's not something gray and dead. It's not a cardboard. Okay. Is there anyone
Werner,
who would like? Yes.
I would like to ask. It's like, I wonder if, like what this person asked about the cardboard, and like the danger of actually making a split I don't feel I'm making a split, but I still wonder when you talk about life, and there is like difference somehow about life as you describe it, or as we also experience it often when I sit outside here on the big tree and the lawn and the flowers and the birds. This is life, and it's very simple. And like the other life is very complicated or difficult, or yeah, all kinds of heavy emotions and relationships and planning, and we have to do this, and yeah. So I just wonder, right now when I'm talking about it, I don't feel there's a split, but I still feel I would like to experience the connection somehow. Or maybe I do, like there is a flow. I can feel there is a flow. Sometimes I'm busy, I'm doing things, sometimes I'm troubled. And sometimes it's like a flow. So maybe it's when changing from this to that, like going with the flow, it's an art, really.
You can say so. It may feel like there is a split between what you describe as two lives, but these two lives are not two lives. It's just in some circumstances it's getting easy to just think back with your attention in yourself and be in the present. And then the old habit takes over of way of functioning, and then it feels like, this is one life and that is another life. It's just that the old habit takes over, and in more complicated, in more difficult situations, it's a bit more challenging not to slip into that. But then when you become aware, then you become aware, okay, out of habit, this is happening, but then I see it, and there you can already, in the midst of the complicated situation, start to let go, and then you become aware. Okay, externally, sometimes it's quiet, and sometimes it's a bit not quite. Sometimes it's simple, and sometimes it's a bit complicated, but what you called before, that flow is there. Simply, we have the tendency to forget about it in more complicated situations and function out of the automatic pilot from past habits.
The flow is not for us to control, really. The flow is there. It's not for me to control. I can just like try to let go, and just like it's a big letting go. The flow is a mystery, really. The flow is a mystery in a way.
It's nothing to be controlled. The control is more to be aware that when we are putting barriers, that we are slipping out of it. And then learn not to do that anymore. Right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else who would like to talk?
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Moksha?
Moksha yes. Here.
Yes, I see you now. Hello, Moksha.
Hi, man. Yeah, this subject, it is, is it the only problem, what if I look is this identification that we think that what is arising, that it has to do with us, right? There is a feeling coming up. I see it even a lot of times if I wake up in the morning, all kind of heavy stuff is going on. And if I look at it, it only becomes a problem when I when there is this identification, this old idea, I am that, it is a problem. If I look at it, it is just a unpleasant feeling, unpleasant ideas. Oh, I cannot do it. It is heavy. But if I look at it, it is just an idea, just a feeling, right?
Right.
And it is all the time this old habit that if a feeling is there, that, oh, it is my feeling. And the idea not to recognize it as an idea, but think it is true.
Right.
For example, I have tomorrow, I have to do an Auftritt, you know? And it's amazing, Werner. In the morning, I have to iron a shirt. And in the morning, in this space after waking up, this can look for me as a huge problem. I have, you know, and it feels like that the mind is there. Oh, yeah. Oh. It seemed like, oh, you cannot manage. Life is such a huge mountains of problems. And I'm laying there and I just feel it. And I see, oh, it is just an idea.
Yes.
And suddenly I stand up and I just look, what was that? No problem anywhere, but it comes all the time back. As in the night, I had crazy dreams, all kinds of problems. And I see alertness that I recognize, oh, it is just an idea. Just
Yes.
an idea.
Right.
It's not me. and not to make a distance, not to, I see the mistake, what I see with myself sometimes and with people is to make a distance from it. Oh, I am not that, but to put it aside. And I see, oh, no. Really feel the stuff that is there and recognize that it's not what you are. Ooh, this is, and then it is not gray at all. What you were talking about gray.
Yeah.
If life is then not gray at all.
Right.
If I am alert, wow, it is very intensive, but also very quiet at the same time. If I'm sitting there, I do still my cold water stuff. I'm sitting there outside, and just a leaf is such a beautiful thing if I'm alert.
Yeah.
Not anywhere grayness. Yeah.
Right. And what you're describing is perfectly that. It's all in the mind. And if we put the mind on it, the simplest, easy, silly thing may look like a huge mountain that you have to somehow climb over it. And if we stop doing that, then we should start to go about our lives, doing one thing after another, playfully, joyously, without thinking it's a burden all the time.
Also, sometimes it feels really, I cannot stand up. I cannot, if I have to, I can stand up early. But it's taking me really in a state of, I cannot do anything. And I lay in my bed, I wake up, I just keep, okay, if it's strong, I just lay there and just watch it. And there comes a point, it's gone.
Yeah, very good.
But it comes back out every time, and sometimes a day not. But I see, okay, it is just this. If I don't make a problem out of it, it is not a problem at all. It is just a feeling, a thought, circumstances, and they're changing.
Right.
I think if I go to a psychiatric, he would say maybe, oh, you are depressive or blah, blah. I could make a problem out of it, but I see, if I look at it, it is not a problem at all. It is just situations, just feelings changing, and I don't know where it comes from.
Well, it comes from your past. Obviously, you have been living your life like this, whether you were aware of it or not, that when you wake up, then all the big problems of the day to come were gathering there and pressing you down. And now your life has become simpler, you are more detached, but the old habit is still manifesting. That when you wake up, all that stuff comes, these feelings come, but that's how we are treating it is perfectly all right. Some people, it's easier to get up and take a shower, but you just lie with it and watch it until it's gone. And so the power of the habit of the past is reducing and reducing. Eventually, you may not more be assaulted like this when you wake up.
Yeah, and for me, I have the circumstances are very good because I don't have to do much, so I can really take my time for it.
Yeah, that's good.
And that is really nice, you know.
Right.
But it is amazing, and what you say from the past, it feels like, oh, this is my family stuff also, you know, old habits. And if I look at my parents, it is pretty familiar, the whole stuff.
Usually these mechanisms are lovingly given over from parents to children, to grandchildren, for generation to generation. Yeah.
Even without telling, it is just in the
without
system.
telling, just by functioning like this, then the younger generation starts to tune in and functions in the same way.
Amazing. And that is the problem. What is the problem? We first have to become aware of it.
Yes.
In the past.
That's a crucial factor. Without that,
we
cannot do anything.
Yes. Are you still there, Werner? Oh,
yeah.
It was completely gone, the picture and the sound.
Oh, I see.
But now everything is there again.
Yeah.
Osho said also, we only need awareness. And I see more and more this man is really true. If we see it, it's no problem. If we don't see it, we are in the movie, right?
Right.
And it goes on forever if we are not aware of it.
Somehow or other, we have to face the things and see the things. That's the first step for detachment.
And then it takes it time, it seems like. It's like you. Yeah.
It's normal, even if you see it, but then the old habit doesn't necessarily just go away because of that. It has its own power, it has its own momentum. The longer, the stronger we have functioned in a certain way, the stronger that momentum is there. And then it has been brought up in time. It will also take some time to get rid of it again.
Yeah. It feels like that. I can see, it comes and goes, and it's sometimes weaker, but it feels really, it is no problem. And yesterday I saw a movie of the Mount Everest, people trying to reach the top.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it, and they die, people die because it is very dangerous there, and an hour too late, blah, blah, big trouble. And I more and more thought, for me, it's completely madness. Why to go in life danger to say I was there on the top? But I saw then in my own life also, to reach somewhere. It is really strange, right?
We have all our own Everests.
Yes, but it is completely, if I see also with the cold water and all kind of things I have to reach. This makes actually, this is the problem in life, that we want to reach somewhere, right? In a way.
It depends.
Why not?
How we are
why
doing
not
it.
just, yes. Why not enjoy it?
You
what
can
you do.
simply enjoy. You can also have goals, as long as it doesn't become an obsession, and you can go about it playfully and reach your goal in a playful way, then it's no problem about it. It's simply then when that self-importance comes in again. I take myself very important, and it has to happen, and because I want fame, because I want this, and because I want that, thinking that I need that in order to be happy and complete. But otherwise, nothing wrong. If somebody feels like climbing up a mountain and that makes him happy, why not? As long as it's not an obsession that I need it in order to be happy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And so we can have our ideas of achievement, as long as I stay with that awareness. Anyhow, I am complete. But then within the movie, I can play that role of achieving something. So what? If that comes naturally, nothing wrong. It is all the attitude that matters.
And the idea, if I reach there, then everything is fine. And that is the tricky thing I also see. If I have done that, then it's good. But that moment never came.
Yes, it's always in the future.
yes, there is another. That is a very good trick. Only this one.
Mm-hmm.
But then I do it, and then only this one. And now I'm 61. There is still only one. It never stops.
It never stops. But when you become aware, everything is fine. Then you can climb your mountains.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Werner. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. It is so simple. Always, it only needs a reminder. Hey, be here.
Yes.
Be here. Yeah. Thank you, Werner.
You're welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Before Moksha came in, I saw Guy, you had your camera on. Did you want to come in?
Yeah, I could. I can.
Hello, Guy.
Hi, Werner. I thought to share something that happened this week. After you spoke about innocence, it related for me to innocence, although I had another context for it.
Yeah.
I'll just speak about it. I'm building a little pool outside my house. It's like a project.
Yeah.
And this week I needed to bring some building material through the neighbors. They have like an orchard of olives. And I asked for permission to go through their land. And they gave me some conditions that the truck doesn't go in, it just unloads the material, and they didn't want the material to be spilled on their land. Anyway, then the day before it was supposed to happen, I suddenly in the evening I went there to check the parking, and it was not big enough. And in the evening, I realized that I'm very stressed about this whole operation.
Yeah.
And normally in this project, I'm quite relaxed. I'm enjoying it. And I got really stressed, and I was asking myself, what's going on? Where is the truth? Where is the stillness? What's happening? And then I realized that I'm telling myself that, okay, there's not enough room in the parking, but okay, the truck will go a little bit inside and then unload the materials. And then I realized that I'm actually selling out the truth. It's not the absolute truth, but I'm kind of, manipulating the truth and not being completely innocent or honest. And I was asking myself, what does truth want me to do? And then I realized, it wants me to write this man a message and tell him that there is not enough space in the parking and we're going to go a few more meters in. And then I wrote him, and he said, he wrote me back, it's okay, I trust you, and just make sure that, to take care of the... And suddenly my whole body relaxed and I could go to sleep very quiet. And I was thinking about how, we call it truth on the absolute level, but it has other dimensions, and it kind of falls down even to the smallest thing or to the most plain aspects of our life.
Right.
Interesting.
Because you made basically first a decision of which you know perfectly well. Actually, I'm a little bit cheating there. And it is not right with you. And so it created that tension I was talking about that prevents us from being innocent. And then in order to relieve that tension, it was a good thing to talk and put the picture out clear, and then you could let go of the tension and felt relieved. We don't have to necessarily always go out and tell everybody the truth. Sometimes it's good in certain situations, not unnecessarily burden people with all the details, even if you know that there are more details. But if you are then at ease with it, you don't think you are deviating from the truth. You think it's the right thing to do. But as soon as we are starting to do things where in the back side of the mind there is always that little voice, hey, it's not right, then that tension comes and the innocence disappears. And in order to get it back, it's good to examine it and see, there I'm acting against what I feel is the truth, is right. And when we come back to that, then it's easy to let the tension go and feel again in tune. Nice. And it's true. It can be the simplest example. It can be something very, very big. It doesn't matter. The mechanism is the same.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like the body is like some kind of a mechanism to check yourself, or I don't know the word, but to feel what is right for a certain moment.
Right. It's not for everybody, but it's certainly a very good access to what is going on, because if you bring the attention to the body, you are in the present. And every thought, every emotion, everything is riding on a wave of prana, of the force of life, which is manifesting in the body. So if we observe what's going on in the body, we are getting a very good picture of what really we are doing mentally. Yeah. You can also, it doesn't appeal for everybody. You can also just inquire. Always do it with inquiry, to be more and more alert and subtler aware of what's going on. But it's a very efficient and very simple way. Just seeing what actually is going on in the body. And as soon as we are creating tension there, we can see, oh, somewhere there is a disharmony. Yeah.
Yeah, here actually I started from the body because I was feeling unease, and And then I actually did the inquiry. I was asking, hey, what's going on? What does truth want? Or what is the right thing in this situation? And what am I hiding? And that took me another step.
Yes, nice. Very good. Shall we leave it at that, or would you like to add something?
No, not about that, but something else that I'm seeing more and more. Or it feels like we are. I mean, I'm getting it also a lot from your talks. How each being is so different from the other. It's like we are living in we all live in the same world, but actually it's completely different worlds. And almost I cannot say something objective about someone else's world, you know, like to give advice from my world, from my experience, for example, about nutrition or, you know.
Yes.
Because another person, his body, his whole being, it works in a different way, and that's quite interesting.
Yes, and you are perfectly right, and especially nutrition is a big thing about people getting very excited about.
Lost the sound.
Yeah. Can you see me? Hear me?
Now it's back. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. And especially nutrition is a thing that people are getting very, very excited about. Heidi, please turn your microphone off. You're a little interfering.
Sorry.
Thank you. Guy, can you say something? Then your picture comes back.
Yeah.
There you are again. And that is something that all these nutrition specialists don't understand so easily. There may be specialists, they understand there are different people and it's different for different people, but the bodies are really different. And what is good for one is not necessarily good for another. And so if somebody asks you for advice on such a subject, you can tell your experience and they can check, but then it's good that they know they should observe their own body and not just believe some kind of advice. And then when they observe themselves, they become aware whether it works or whether it doesn't work. And that's with the nutrition, so it's with so many other things that we have a base, a common ground, energetic ground, where it's like a matrix where the consciousness can tune into, but then we are living so in different worlds. Sometimes people are talking together and you think when you just watch it that everyone is talking in their own space and they think they're communicating, but there is very little connection. But in spite of the differences, essentially we are the same. And if we are connecting with that and then looking at people, then we can also honestly connect with them.
Yeah.
And about nutrition, there are so many theories. They are contradicting themselves. And then if you start to take them all serious, you're getting really crazy. I hope you can hear me because it told me again the connection is unstable. It seems you don't hear me so well.
It's a little bit broken, but still understandable.
Yeah. It's good to be open for inspiration from people, from books, from traditions, from great beings. But then it's also good at the same time always observe, does it really apply to me? Does it apply to my situation? That's something one has to learn. something each one has to figure out for themselves. Sometimes we get very good pointers, good inspirations. We can include it in our life, and we start to see, yes, great. It's a good enriching addition, or we start to see, well, it seems not my thing to do, and we can drop it. And the reverse also, even if we think I know the truth about something, there's no point in trying to force it on somebody else, because it's not the same truth for them.
Yeah, I'm reading now about this. We spoke about the prana, the people that live out of prana.
Yeah.
And I'm playing with it a little bit, so I changed my diet. And I'm eating, but much less than before, and trying to feel that I'm being nourished also from this prana, and that it can give me, for example, the B12, even though that I'm vegan.
Yeah.
And I really feel it, this being nourished by the prana. But I wouldn't think about telling someone else, yes, you should try this method. It seems so absurd.
Yeah, right.
I've done like 25 years of meditation, and probably my mechanism has changed. And
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Live your truth and let the others live their truth, huh? Right. That's great. Okay. Hario. Is there anybody else who would like to talk? You're welcome to come in.
So if nobody comes in, I would like to ask something.
Yes.
In regards to what Guy said about that we are all actually separated, or I'm not sure how I said it, but
different.
I think you know what I mean.
Different. Yes.
Yeah, we're different. Yeah. So my question is about something also that I've realized recently is what I think, like giving advice, but in a wider way. When somebody tells me their problems and their troubles, and like this friend of mine, then I decided to tell her that I thought she needed to go to diagnose. Yeah. And they looked back. Obviously, she didn't like it. And that also gave me, like, it was kind of a shock to me, really. If I did right or wrong, I don't know. This is, nobody knows. But I just wonder, really, when we communicate, how, if I want the other person to be good, to feel okay with my reactions to them, to what they're telling me, and then how do we know, really? I mean, there's no way to know. I know that for me, I like people to tell me the truth. If I tell somebody I have such and such problem and they think I should go to see the doctor, I would like them to tell me maybe something I don't see, and they open my eyes to this. But as you say, we're very different. And recently, I also am holding back I listen to the person, but if they don't ask me very specifically, then I just react very gently because I don't want to hurt people, and maybe they're not prepared to hear what I think I want to say to them. And it's a whole revolution for me also, because people share their things, their problems, their issues. And then I'm teaching myself a new way of listening, because maybe we shouldn't react when they share. They just want to share, and it's okay.
Actually, many times that's exactly the case. You just being there and open and honestly connecting is maybe all that is needed. If then
open my heart.
Yeah, if then it comes naturally and spontaneously that you talk about it, then that's also fine. But often it's just being with somebody who has a problem and they talk about it. Actually, they unload a lot of tensions on you, and then you have to deal with that, and that's fine. That's a job we can do. And
if we
helps,
choose to.
If we choose to. And it helps them. Often it helps them much more than whatever we could say. Yeah. And if you are in tune with yourself, then spontaneously things will come out or not come out. It's then not more so much intellectual deliberation. Should I now tell this or should I not tell this? Are they ready to hear this or are they not ready to hear this? If you are in tune with yourself, even if a thought comes, then you may just have the feeling, no, it's not the time to say this. Right.
Right.
That's what I meant also before when I said to Guy, sometimes we may not tell the whole truth that we see, and it's still the truth because it's in the context. Then instead of bringing something more creative, if we just insist to say everything and every detail, then it may become more destructive than helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the heart is always true. And if somebody is with you, and if you are with them with an open heart, that is true. And then what we say, that can be adjusted to the situation. And the more you are self-aware, the more you become self-confident. And don't wonder, should I not? But it comes or doesn't come spontaneously.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we leave it?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Hare you. Is there anyone else who would like to talk? You're welcome to come in. There seems some action there. I start to see in small form the picture of Kristen, but you have still the microphone turned off. You have to unmute.
It is unmuted.
Now it's coming. Yes. Before it
is now?
Yeah. Now I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I have a little additional question about what you have been talking about with the last two people. And it's a little bit about the roles that I or we tend to go into. Because I got to think about, I have a situation with two good friends who have serious problems with their children. One is psychotic and the other one doesn't want to leave his room. So it's both young men in big difficulties. And with one friend, when I spend time with her most, I would say we talk, 90% of what we talk is about the situation with her son.
Yeah.
And it's actually inspiring for me.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to be in. But with the other woman, it's also, usually we talk most about the situation with the son. But I can feel there's some role going on there. Like, I feel that she goes in a victim role, and then I get in a role that I don't like to be in.
Yeah.
And of course, she also needs help or compassion, but I tend to pull away from the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my question is, when the situation with other people is like this, that there's really like a role, there's like a red carpet to go into a certain role. And I can see the red carpet and I don't want to go there, but then how can I be in the situation and not just leave it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a clear question?
Yes.
Okay.
But I can, you have put a clear question, but I cannot put a clear answer. Because you cannot make a general statement. And as I'm not seeing exactly, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. As I not knowing exactly your situation, I cannot say in this particular situation, you have to do like this and you have to do like that. Because it's possible that sometimes people, they just want somebody that they can play their victim role, and then your job, they expect your job is that you confirm them in their victim role. Even by simply keep on listening to them. And sometimes you have the right that you feel there is no point that you pull back. Sometimes it is possible that you can make them clear. Hey, your victim role is destructive. It doesn't help anyone, neither you, neither your son. It helps nobody. But people are very rarely ready to hear such a thing. It only makes sense when you feel that readiness is there. Otherwise, it's better either you just keep on meeting and listening, or then when you feel no, instead of helping, maybe it's even strengthening her role as a victim, because you patiently keep on listening to her poor little meeting. And then if that it's perfectly okay to pull a bit away. We cannot force people to change. If they honestly, sincerely ask for a help to change, then by all means, let's give them a helping hand if we can. But if they just want to use us to keep on playing their role that is not helpful, then we are not obliged to continue to do so.
Yeah, and when you say that, I get to think about my own role, because I can clearly feel that also, like, my ego is also very happy to be the helper. It's something I have been observing for a long time, and I still am, and I still can feel that there's also a red carpet there. Yeah.
Right. Of course, this is a tricky one. Then that doesn't mean you have to stop to be in that role where it's asked for, where it's appropriate, but you can observe yourself very subtly, very closely, and see how much does their self-importance creep in, that I'm just doing it to have again a good image about myself, or how much is really genuinely flowing something that is helpful for them, for me, for everybody. But the helper trap is a tricky one because it looks so good.
Yeah, what did you say? The helper trap is what?
A tricky one.
Yeah.
It's good to be nice and helpful to people, but one can very well totally identify with that role and do it mainly to improve the image one has about oneself.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very good to say this here in this open forum in front of you and all the other people. It has some effect. I mean, there's a different that I have been observing this, but to say it loud also and have this dialogue with you, I can feel it's moving something.
Right. Also, already that you see it and that you have the courage to say it out like this, that is doing something.
My ego also likes to hear that. It's never what to do.
All we can do is to be as honest as we can with ourselves. Right. And if we are doing that, then we see subtler and subtler how the old mechanism has the tendency to sneak in again and again. And when we see it sneaking in, then we can say, oh, I see you, and let that stuff go. Right. Good. Great.
Thank you, Werner.
Hari-om. Hari-om.
Hari-om. Hari-om.
Would anybody else like to say something? All right. I'll say a word more about what we just talked about at the end of the conversation with Kristen. If we start to sincerely, honestly look at ourselves, it may sometimes feel a bit, wow, crushing to see exactly that mechanism. We have learned, we have grown up to function totally from the person perspective. That's who I am, this person. That's whom I have to fight for. That's who has to be successful. That's, that's the one. Everything, once it's established, turns around and round and round it. Then when we become aware that this is the thing that creates so many problems, that creates pain and suffering, and that keeps the consciousness locked in a bubble, then we start to let go. In so many ways, it is possible to become more aware, to start to let go, to start to broaden the experience, but it needs a subtle and honest attention, observation, because the old habit will not give up so easily and always sneak in a subtler way. With a nicer coloring, with a spiritual coloring. But if we see that there is no reason to feel shocked by it. Sometimes for a moment it may be a bit shocking, but it's good to have the courage to see, okay, there it comes again. There it sneaks in. However noble it seems what I'm doing right now, if I really have a good, sincere, honest look at it, I see it's still me, I motivated. And when we see that, then okay, there we go. See it, learn to detach, learn to relax, learn to let go. That's the path. No matter how we are going the path, more yogic, more devotional, more jnana, more anything, it comes always to that we are more clearly aware here now. See what's going on. See how the old mechanism, the old habit sneaks in again and again, subtler and subtler. But then, so what? There we go about it. We see it. We have a good look at it. And we learn to let go. If we sincerely go on like this, there may come the moment where it's becoming easier. Actually, it will gradually become easier. There may be gaps where the mechanism simply is not there. We can recognize that this is happening, that is not functioning in the old model. And then it may come back, take over again. But then if we sincerely, honestly keep going, there may come the moment where sort of something simply snaps and it becomes easy. Still, a little trace of it will be there. As long as the same form exists, a little trace of it will be there, but it's easy to handle. It doesn't shock anymore. We can see it clearly. It comes, it goes. It doesn't do any harm. First, we have to make the effort to really observe. It's not a terrible effort, but it's an effort that we have to do again and again. To observe and to be honest about it. But then gradually it comes easier, and there may come the moment where it's simply not more a problem. What looked to be sometimes quite difficult becomes simple and easy and natural. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.